Hey everybody, this is Alzorath and welcome to GamerFi. Today we're taking a look at Blackguards, a new game that's currently in sort of a pre-purchase stage on Steam. You can buy it and play it yourself, but it is very much still in development. As you can see down here in the bottom right, it still says development build on it. You got the build number and stuff like that. It's even got the FPS test down there. That's going to be a little bit wonky because I am recording. It gets pretty good FPS throughout. But let's go ahead and look at the options. Not too many options here. I mean, you have the difficulty level, language, you have tutorial. I'm going to leave that on because I'm going to be talking to you guys through the tutorial. You have resolution, and you can make it full screen. It's by default full screen. You can make it windowed using a little trick. They do plan to have windowed resolution in the final game, which is going to be released sometime next year if memory serves. Currently, they are rolling it out in chapters in the pre-built stage, and there's still a lot of placeholder things in place. But for the most part, it is a fully functional game. You have options as far as texture quality and stuff. I have mine set, just kind of average, because it doesn't really make a huge difference, but if you're into it, you can turn them all the way up to high, and it doesn't really suffer very much. You have your volume sliders here. I recommend putting the voice up just a little bit. Here, let's go ahead and put that up at about 65, just so it comes in over the music and the effects, because there were some stages where I had the voice acting be a little bit off. So let's go ahead and go back. Do you want to save these settings? Why, certainly. I could continue from my last game, but as I said, I'm going to take you through the tutorial, and we're going to go ahead and jump into the character creation, because I feel that's an important thing to show off in any game like this. Now, you click on New Game, and you get to the character creation screen. You have 3 classes to choose from. You have Warrior, which is kind of a melee specialist, a good fighter, a character that you can just kind of rely on, and if you're new to strategy games, definitely a good pick. It's not complicated to play this kind of character. Mage, the magic in this game is a little bit weird. The accuracies are a little bit low for my taste, but they are effective, and I didn't have any trouble. My first game with it is with a mage, and I'm moving right along without any problems whatsoever. I'm actually dual specking into sort of a ranged combat / mage character, so I don't have to rely on spells all the time. And you have Hunter, which I haven't played as, but I wager it's going to be your rogue-like character, and we're actually going to choose this today. You have a choice between male and female. You don't have any height sliders or anything like that, and you have a choice between pretty much 5 faces that you can choose from. There's some rather weird faces in the actual game. I would hope that they would actually diversify this a little bit, maybe make it a little bit more MMO in its kind of structure, but that might be beyond the scope of what they can do with their resources. Another thing that a lot of players mentioned that could probably be useful would be a mouse over for the stats. That's something that can be included later. Obviously, this is still a game in development, so we're going to see how that goes. I'm going to go with an old man ranger, I think. Unless one of these other ones look more appealing. Nah, we'll go with the old man, and we'll call him Old Man Ranger. And we'll go ahead and jump into the game, and we'll go through the tutorial, and I'll explain my thoughts on the game itself so far, as I have played several hours into my own campaign. And here we're going to go through one of the cutscenes. It's going to see my frame rate drop off for just a second as it's loading it. You're going to see it slipped on through. As far as this cutscene goes, I'm sorry for talking through it. You have subtitles there if you're really interested into it. The cutscene is actually going at full speed right now. I don't know why it's a little bit stuttery in appearance. It was that way even when I wasn't recording. So that's kind of something that you keep an eye out for. They need to probably refine that a little bit. As you can see, I'm still getting 30 FPS. The lore of the game is kind of interesting. There's a kind of gritty feel to it. It's not as gritty as they describe in the descriptions, but it is definitely worth checking out as far as the darker kind of studies go. This scene bothered me whenever I first saw it because, well, animals don't tend to go for the stomach unless the prey is dead. A wolf would have been on her neck, not on her stomach. But anyway, here we're going to go into our first battle, which is the tutorial battle. And we get decent little tutorial messages, and you can actually move the character, and it tells you how to do things. And we're just going to go ahead and skip over that. And here we have the battlefield. You can use the mouse wheel to scroll up and down, which I really appreciate. It's so much smoother than a lot of other strategy games, which require you to use preset heights and stuff like that. And you can move the basically viewing area forward and backward using WASD. I do wish there was rotation, but I can understand why they wouldn't want that, because it makes it a little bit more difficult to develop whenever you have to develop for a full 360 view. So I can definitely agree with that, and I much appreciate this being higher and lower than actually in the than actually being able to go around. Let's put it that way, because up here you can get kind of a chessboard kind of view, and down here you can get more theatrical kind of combat view. That said, let's go ahead and kill this wolf. It's on top of Eleanor, and we are a ranger. If you right click on ourselves, we can see all of our list of different abilities. These things on the right are your magic abilities, and we currently don't have any magic, so it's not going to pop up anything. But let's go ahead and get back on him. There we go. Magic abilities have a weird kind of weak accuracy effect. It won't pop up for me for this, but a lot of them have a high chance of missing. There are ways to improve it, but I think that should probably be curved up just a little bit, just so it's a little bit easier. That's pretty much my only complaint about magic. Otherwise, it's just as effective as attacking, and it's a nice balance of not being overpowered like magic is in so many other games. But we're going to go ahead and use our ability. Thankfully, abilities that are not magic don't use spell points or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about running out of them. I just have to worry about running out of arrows, but we're going to go ahead and shoot him in the face with an aim shot. Bang, right in the face. He's going to run over, and he's not going to be able to attack me because I was out of his movement range. So we can actually get another shot off here, and targeted shot again. Smack. 15 in the face, and he's dead. That's a simple battle. Obviously, the battles will get more complex, and I'm going to go ahead and skip the conversation scenes here, and we'll go ahead and jump ahead into the future part of the story where you're escaping from a prison. Don't worry, it's not going to spoil too much. You'll get this in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Everything's all right. Please open the lock. I'm innocent. As innocent as a man my age can ever be.
And we're back. We're about to be doing a bit of a prison escape here. And here we found another prisoner. We've got basically a little bit of a dialogue tree that comes up. I wish there were more options. I certainly hope they plan to include more options and develop the story further before the final release. And in this scene, you'll also see a little bit of an issue that people have brought up, but I have a feeling this is also financially related. Basically, whenever you're talking to them, you can notice that they're talking, but their mouths do not move. They do a little bit of masking it by having like a character's back to the rest of them. That's actually a film faux pas. You can read the little script down below if you're interested in specifically what they're saying. We can ask them what brought them here, and they'll kind of talk about it a little bit. You can ask him through Narim, which you can actually speak as the other characters. We're going to go ahead and see how he doesn't move his mouth. But basically, you can speak through the other characters and have them say things that advance the plot. There's also sub-objectives that can be unlocked by using the special character dialogues. But for the most part, it's very limited in this regard, and I hope that that actually gets added to as the game progresses. Of course, I understand that as it's in development, you kind of have to keep people on a track so they can get an idea of what the game is like rather than actually expecting them to go through many diverse paths. So I hope this game is supported for a very long time and they actually develop that stuff. And as you just saw, there is a loading screen. You'll see those fairly frequently. We get new gear and stuff like that. We'll go ahead and go through the inventory screen before we go jumping on someone's skull. And let's go ahead and look at our character sheets first. I'm going to go ahead and get the tutorial messages popped up, since I left that on so you can see what they're like. If you want to read them, you can go back and pause the video, or I can I can make a let's play of this if you really want. Okay, we're going to get into the character screen. Here's the basic character stat. You can scroll through the 3 characters you have right now using this little arrow function up here, and it will show you this AP. That's kind of a substitute for experience. And with experience, you gain the ability to raise different skills. Currently, I don't want to use the AP because, well, I can't get anything really good, and it's also, yeah, let's go and confirm. We didn't really add anything. And it's going to go through our different skills. We can click on these, and it pops it up. Let's go through them all so it's clear so I can talk about each one individually. Okay. Weapon talents. There's an offensive and defensive stat to these. Right now we have, say, our spear abilities. If we move it to the right, we get more in our offensive stat. If we move it to the left, we get more in our defensive stat. As far as I can tell, this does not use up any of your AP to do this shift, but it does use up your resources if you want to, say, raise the overall available stat for that. So defensive actually helps you parry more, offensive helps you deal more damage and hit more, which is good. So, and then we can go ahead and jump into the other talents, which all your characters have these top 3 talents, which are body control, willpower, and perception, which are your basically abilities to avoid terrain difficulties, your ability to ignore wound modifiers and stuff like that. And you have your perception, which allows you to get a little bit of initiative, and you can see hidden objects. Then you have your class-specific skills, which are usually down below, which are things like Streetwise, Warcraft, Survival, etc., which all add to your ability to survive. And you jump over here in spells. Currently, the only character we have that's a mage can't use his spells because of the Iron Collar you saw in the previous video, and your stats actually will influence your ability to use these spells by increasing or decreasing their accuracy based on your stats. I'm going to go back to the main character real quick, though. As you can see, he can't use any of these things. They've left it fairly open as far as what you can do. Obviously, the ranger and the warrior can't get spells, but for the most part, you have access to all the skills available to pretty much everyone. So you can do some interesting things here. I don't know if later on you can actually unlock spells for the ranger or the warrior, but that would be an interesting little thing to have unlockable via the magic tree. So, but currently it's not available as far as I can tell. I haven't gotten far enough in with these base classes to do it. And we're going to go ahead and move on. Oh, but also the base values thing here, as you can see, there's little blue bars next to these. It's based on whenever this gets all the way to the right, you level up your parry, your dodge, etc. based on the different levels of these things. As you can see, as you move over it, it actually highlights the stats that influence that particular effect. Obviously, my initiative is high because I'm a ranger, and my resistance to magic kind of sucks, but we have decent speed. So anyway, over to the inventory screen, see a big old wall of dialogue here that is further tutorials. Again, you can read that if you decide to pick up the game. And in here you can actually change your equipment, and you can set up various weapon sets which you can switch between in-game. Outside of using a certain type of ability, you will use a turn to actually switch your weapon set, because they don't want you just switching on the fly very easily, because, well, in real combat you're not going to switch on the fly. We're going to go ahead and just throw some gloves and boots on our main character just so he looks like a pimp, I guess, and we'll equip him up so he's not quite as sucky. And now he has a sword and crap. We can move through our characters on this one just like before. You can limit it based on weapons, armors, and items, and just by clicking on the button again you can release it so it shows all of them. There is an encumbrance system in the game. Yeah, this is getting to be an interestingly long video, but there's an encumbrance system in the game. If your load goes above the second number, and I think it's based on one of your stats as to what your load can be, because on my mage playthrough I only have 64 load, and you'll get an encumbrance stat, which basically weakens you a little bit, makes you less effective. Let's go ahead and get this guy a torch. Didn't know he didn't come with a weapon on this one. Let's go ahead and see. Yeah, that'll work for now. And get him some leather pants so he doesn't look quite as douchey. This guy's weird, by the way. He's very colorful. Let's see what else. I don't really have anything else I can say about this screen. It shows your attributes and your stats. I do wish the kind of comparison thing over here would give you more information. Like, for example, here, whenever you hover over the torch, it says damage, attack, parry, initiative, etc. It doesn't tell you how much you're gaining or losing. There you go. But it does show red that if it's a weaker, and it shows blue if it is stronger, I believe. Yeah, blue if it is stronger, white if it is nothing different. And the torches actually deal fire damage, while the sword deals, I think it's regular damage, which you can see as part of the stats on the armors. But let's go ahead and close that, and we'll go ahead and move on into the mission so I can show you basically how magic works and how the environmental effects can take into account the direction of a battle. It's basically the environment plays a key role in the battle. So let's go ahead and skip through the dialogue. And here is an actual matchup. Let's go ahead and close that. And as you can see, we are positioned in the room. We can see the chandelier here up the top. And if we press V, we can actually see that there are environmental factors we can influence just by looking around and doing this. And our lovely little dwarf here gets the first turn. And if we take advantage of this environmental effect by hitting that lovely little rope right there, it causes the chandelier to fall down and kill our opponents. Works for me. So now we've got to decide whether we want to move forward. We could actually hit the tables, shatter them down. If we really want to, we can just go bop and bop. No real point in it, but it does set fire to that, which this is environmental effect as well. Basically, you can set fire to certain things. There are bushes later on that you can set fire to make a trap for enemies, and that's another way the environmental factors take things into account. So he's not going to come charging through this flame unless he has reason to, which he doesn't because we have an ally out here that he can get to, and we can just go ahead and smack it on a heavy blow. And now if we run through there, I'm going to go ahead and do this even though it's a really, really, really bad idea. If we run through there, you'll notice we take damage just from the fire there. I really do like this, and I really do wish more games actually implemented a environmental effect like that. And obviously, if you control your characters more precisely, you can avoid that damage. So I'm going to go ahead and smack him. We don't get to really show off magic in this one. I forgot that he still has the collar on as of this one. So we're going to go ahead and smack the crap out of him. But let's just put it at magic does require a little bit more effort, and it is a little bit of a pain to kind of hit with sometimes. And we get all of this nice equipment. I'm so glad they included this take all button. It is definitely something that needs to be in a lot of games that have mass loot. I wish there was a bit more detail as to what each thing was in this screen so you'd be able to make a more informed decision. But we get plenty of armor and stuff, and that is pretty much how this game plays. Towns are a little bit different. You can stand in a town and it'll go through. I'm trying to think of a game to compare it to, but probably the best game to compare it to would be actually a point and click. The towns are very much a point and click game. You have the bubbles above the characters' heads, but you don't have to wander around looking for people. They're all presented right there in front of you. It's very much a classical approach to towns that hasn't been seen in a while outside of certain genres. So I really do appreciate that. Here we can continue moving through here. We can camp. I'm going to go ahead and just probably let this ramble off here. Weapons have ammo, the ranged weapons. I can show you that real quick. And I really do like that. Weapons and stuff do not have durability. I wonder if that's was a thought that they considered implementing. I'm glad that they didn't. Let's go ahead and put all of the arrows on them. And yes, switching ammo types does use up a movement in battle. So you may want to really consider that. But now we have a bow and arrow for him, so he's good. AP, as always, is gathering up. You get it by doing quests, doing battles, and stuff like that. And you can actually get set bonuses if memory serves just by combining all these things. We have pretty much all of the Gambersons set except for the helmet and the pants. Usually you get the pants at this point too, but apparently we didn't. There's some randomization to the loot, so you can't really guarantee a specific drop in a specific area. Money is split up into ducats, silver thalers, and farthings. This is copper, silver, and gold. Just to make it simplified. Honestly, I wish they would just use gold, silver, and copper, or at least a symbol for them, just to make it a little bit more simple for players new to the genre who might not get that. Same with the hover over for the attributes and the stats in this thing called Metal Table. As you've probably seen, there's actually placeholder strings for the area names. In the final game, there will probably be names there. Let's go ahead and close this, and I don't think we can close this map until we get further on. But in this map, you can actually navigate very similar to this. You'll find little highlighted areas, and you can click on them to go to that area. Obviously, if we were coming here, we'd go into the cells, and we'd be able to release some prisoners. I don't think we can just bypass it, because if we click there, it'll go here first. Same on the world map. If you cross something, you'll encounter it. But yeah, I believe that's about it. I really do enjoy this game. I hope to see it polished up, and I will come back for another GamerFi once the game releases next year, should I remember. They will be releasing chapters over the course of the next few months, and I'm thinking, if I had to guess, now they've said that they want it released fairly early next year. Personally, I'm going to guess it's going to be closer to mid-year, just how game development goes. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, and I'm open to admit it. But if you guys enjoy it, go pick it up on Steam. I'll include a definite link for that down below. You can also check out information on other channels. If you'd like recommendations to some other channels that are doing content for Blackguards, shoot me a line and I'll recommend you to their videos. If you would like me to do a Let's Play of Chapter 1, I'd be glad to, because I really am enjoying this game. I'm playing through as a mage right now. I'll definitely consider doing that as a side project. But anyway, I'll let you guys go. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this with your friends. Check out Blackguards yourself. It is a little bit pricey. I'm not so sure $20-something is quite worth it for a pre-entry. In its current state, I would say about $15 would be good. So if you ever see it on sale for 15 bucks, go ahead and jump for it. The finished game, I would probably pay about $20-something for. So it's up to you if you're willing to put that risk in a game that is still in development or not. But yeah, keep gaming, have fun, peace out. This has been Alzorath. As I said, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That's the only way the channel survives. And yeah, see you next time on GamerFi. Bye.